There are founders who build products. And then there's Arvind Jain of Glean, who builds a layer that helps organizations think. And that's exactly what has made Glean such an exciting company. Arvind Jain, such a pleasure to have you with us here on NDTV Ind.AI Summit. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first I want to also thank you for literally sprinting to get here. And I think AI needs to solve for traffic woes more than anything else. I believe you literally ran to make it here in time.
That's true. We had to. The traffic in the city today is bad and most roads are blocked. So ultimately, I asked my driver, should we really just walk? That'll be faster than, going in the car.
All right, Arvind, great time for India. This truly feels like India's moment. All AI global bigwigs are in town. There's a lot of conversation around global cooperation. We're all excited to see the outcomes coming out of this summit. Mm-hmm. Give us your big picture thoughts on where AI and where India stands in this AI moment of sorts.
Yeah, well, AI is the talk of the town everywhere in the world today, and for the right reasons. This is the technology that's the most powerful that all of us have actually seen in our lifetime. So there's a big change coming in terms of when you think about work and businesses, what do organizations look like in the future? What roles are actually available for us as humans to work on? What things are actually going to be done by AI? So there's a big change, and we're in a very, very early stages of that journey today. This summit is actually fantastic because it's actually bringing a lot of attention to AI in a big way in the country. India has to play a big role in the future of AI, and I think this is a good start here.
Absolutely, India playing a big role, and also for most large AI companies, India being such a large market, I think that itself is important. And now, of course, India seeing tons of innovation coming out as well. Arvind, for the benefit of the audience seated here, tell them a little more about Glean, why it's transformative, and more importantly, your journey, how you really started out.
Yeah, so Glean, we started the company in early 2019. That actually makes us the first enterprise generative AI company in the world. So before this became so hot, now people talk about language models and transformers. In 2019, nobody was talking about it, but we were solving a problem that required us to use this technology. The product that Glean builds, think of it like Google or ChatGPT, but inside your company. Glean is a place where employees go to ask questions, and Glean uses all of your internal company's data and knowledge and information to actually help you figure out answers to those questions and share it back with the user. So it's just a more powerful version of an AI tool that you use in your day-to-day personal life. Inside the company, you use Glean instead. So that's what we do. Our journey, so it started with first wanting to build a Google-like search experience internally for people so that people can find information faster. But then as AI models got better and better, it allowed us to actually build this product today, which is not only a place, Glean acts like your personal assistant. It acts like your colleague or a companion that can actually share some of your workload with you. So what people do today with Glean is, if you have 10 things to do, maybe you can actually ask Glean to actually do 3 or 4 of those tasks internally and then move at twice the speed.
So clearly you saw certain gaps in traditional productivity as well as search tools that excited you to build Glean. But you're saying that you started out in a sort of pre-ChatGPT era or before AI became a thing, as we could say. Tell us about how the last few years have been, because when it comes to AI, it's all about speed and scale. And, we're talking about today, we had Mukund Jha of Emergent with us a while ago. We had, Pratyush from Sarvam in the morning. And the whole story is about how quickly you're going to scale. I mean, look at Emergent, for instance, moving from 50 million ARR to 100 million in a matter of a month. So suddenly we're talking about numbers and scale that have been mind-boggling.
Yeah, AI has actually changed the benchmark for what actually makes you an iconic company, a company that's growing fast. So Glean, we've been actually doing the same over the last few years. The company has been exponentially growing our business. We're more than doubling, tripling every year. And that's actually the norm, like, in this, because, the products, like, that AI companies deliver, like, the one that we do, I mean, they're so exciting, they're so new, and they can make so much impact that, it's actually, we see a lot of demand from businesses to actually use products like these. So that's the world that we are in today, like, really fast growth. AI companies are going to be growing their businesses at a pace that we've never seen before in tech. And we firmly believe that AI is going to sort of actually become a more dominant category than software itself, over the next decade. And the world's largest businesses, the most valuable companies will all be AI companies.
Arvind, there was a lot of pessimism, at least a few months ago, around AI in India.
Yeah.
Whether it is in terms of the ability of founders to innovate, or the ability of government to be an enabler in terms of infrastructure, saying, not enough is being done there. What are your thoughts on whether that pessimism is now giving way to at least cautious optimism? And do you think the criticism was justified? But at the same time, what is India missing?
Well, look, there have been these studies that show that most AI projects fail. Like, in fact, there's one that's quite popular which says 95% of all AI projects in 2025 were actually big failures. And that's actually expected for any new technology. But I think what it actually hides is the fact that, there's tremendous excitement in the industry. Like, even though AI is such an early technology, you are still wanting to try it out. You still want to actually not miss the boat. And that's what we've seen. But now, if you look at AI, like, it's actually making clear impact on many different lines of functions within businesses, whether it is, supporting your customers, and whether it is actually, writing new code and software and technology. AI is already playing a significant role in actually, enhancing, like, how businesses are able to actually deliver those services today. So the criticism is justified. The optimism is actually there. It's not cautious, actually. I would say, like, there's a lot of optimism for AI. And, I can tell you this, like, we work with businesses across different industry sectors, whether it's, financials or healthcare or technology or retail, manufacturing, and nobody wants to be left behind. No matter what your industry is, you want to actually be at the forefront. You want to try the best AI tools, and because you understand, like, executives today understand that if we don't modernize with AI, then we're going to be obsolete, and we won't exist anymore.
Talking about being obsolete, the one question that is crossing everyone's mind, you're talking about how AI is doing the job of coders. You're talking about how AI is enhancing productivity. It is such a powerful tool in your hands today, right? And the obvious question then is that while we're seeing, the kind of enterprise tools that you're building, being able to, have that massive transformational impact, there's also the concern around job displacement. What is it going to do to employment? What are your thoughts around that?
See, like, we have always benefited from technology waves over the last many decades. And so far, historically, whenever we have great technology advances that happen, it sort of, like, removes some jobs, but it actually makes some new ones. And all of us, like, as humans, we evolve. We evolve to sort of, use those technologies. And we're able to do now things better, faster, in some ways. I think of AI also, like, largely the same way. It's a tool, that's available to us as humans. It's going to actually, reduce and remove some of that boring, repetitive work, which is no fun for anybody, and, like, leave more time for creative work for all of us. So that's sort of, like, that's the positive side of, like, what AI is going to do for us. And it is actually, we're seeing it, again, when we look at the folks who are actually the most curious ones, who are actually trying to really embrace AI in a big way, they're actually getting AI today to do a lot of work for them. But now comes the question of, like, if this technology moves so fast, and if it really makes many jobs sort of redundant, like, what does it do to our workforce? And is it actually going to create, like, a lot of pain in the short term? Hopefully not. Like,
right.
Our guidance, to everybody is that today, like you don't have to be an engineer, you don't have to be a technologist, you don't have to be an AI expert, but these easy to use tools are available to you, whether it is Glean in your workplace or Google or ChatGPT, in your personal lives. Just use it. Use these tools, figure out what you can do with them, and then you're ready for the future. You don't have to actually worry about any job loss, like as long as you know how to use AI.
All right, as we wrap this up, last question to you. You're an operator turned successful founder in the AI space, riding the AI wave. Quickly, if you could have short pieces of advice to budding AI founders, for investors in AI, and for the government and the citizens. Quick pieces of advice there.
Yeah, so for entrepreneurs, I think the main thing is, make sure that AI is a enabler in whatever you're trying to build, but your focus has to be on solving a large business problem, not like you don't start with like, okay, well, I have AI and I can do something with it. So use it no more than a tool. For the governments, I think one of the things, that I think India has done a good job, where we are actually have, all the models, that are being built in the industry, worldwide, that are available to us. So staying open, to innovation that happens, doesn't matter, where it happens, as long as, we are creating the right policies, which allow entrepreneurs, which allow companies, and people to actually use AI freely. That is what is actually going to allow us to actually be a winner in this market in the long run.
All right, Arvind Jain, such a pleasure to have you here on the NDTV Ind.AI Summit. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.